And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through April 28th, enjoy Duroc St. Louis spare ribs for $5.99 per pound. USDA Choice Tomahawk ribeyes for $14.99 per pound. Fresh pork belly for $2.99 per pound. And Fairway's Hickory Smoked Bacon for $4.99 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, it's Joel Norman, the voice of your Lincoln Stars hockey team. Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday night from 8 to 9 p.m. to hear the latest on the Stars with myself, head coach Rocky Russo, and special player guests.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
This is Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson with Peter Ferguson BHS LLC. And as always, joined on the ones and twos by, as we like to affectionately say, the Dr. Dre of the Lincoln or Nebraska area. Harrison, how you doing this morning, Harrison?
Doing great. Had the spring game yesterday. A lot of excitement there. Obviously, we had some more tragic events as well over the weekend, and I hope everyone's doing out there. We spent a lot, but obviously Nebraska Strong, the Husker Athletic website, you can buy those shirts, help out. It will go directly to Red Cross. But other than that, we did have the spring game, so plenty of things to smile about as well. And it was a good turnout. I was still a lot of people were down there. It was still busy downtown here in Lincoln. And yeah, anytime you get that buzz, it's fun to see Lincoln kind of fill up like that again.
Well, and you started with that transition, but again, just, our thoughts and well wishes are out to all of those that are impacted, not just, in the state of Nebraska, but my sister lives in Oklahoma and
Iowa,
Ponca City, Oklahoma, and that stretch is continuing to go. And so just again, our thoughts, well wishes with those individuals, but, to help people affected by the disasters, whether big or small, you can text Red Cross, that's capital REDCROSS to 90999, and to give $10 to the American Red Cross. And again, Nebraska Strong, we stand with Nebraska and our neighbors in Iowa, but also the other communities that are being impacted, because woke up this morning and saw that it went through at 1 a.m. and just amazing that nobody was, seriously killed. No, I mean, not serious, but nobody was killed in this state with everything that happened. Came through a little bit earlier than expected. Shout out to the school districts in the area for, holding kids and scholars and staff, and just, could have been something that was much, worse. Land is important, but also lives are something you can't get back. And so then thinking about those individuals, my former coach Trader lives in Elkhorn, and shot him a text and just said, how, things. And he's like, we were fortunate, missed us by about a mile.
Wow.
And, just to know that people are in that vicinity and impacted that way is something else.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. I'll even shout out the meteorologist too, because they gave us great coverage the whole way through. I mean, and that's important when that's going down, especially when you're tornado. You just don't know when they're going to drop. Because it could have been Lincoln, just happened to be north of Lincoln before it actually. So shout out to all those guys keeping everybody updated. That's obviously important when you do get to that storm season. But nonetheless, this is a feel-good show. We do kind of want to switch gears here. So Pete Ferguson, who do we all have in studio today?
We got a large number of individuals, and I'm excited in a lot of ways, because this is a show that was brought forward by a young lady who, had been listening to her show. Her dad's been on our show before. Michael Alvarez is as a close friend. He texts in and sends notes every now and then, makes fun of my attire and my golf swing and everything else. But that being said, she mentioned to him, he's like, I think Pete should do a show on autism. And he shot me a note and he says, "What do you think?" And I was like, "No, it'd be great."
Yeah.
And this is Autism Awareness Month. April is traditionally that, and I had it scheduled for the first week.
Okay.
And then I was in Cleveland, and so I had departed to Cleveland, and so wanted to kind of make sure we followed up with that and had the show within the month. But also, DP has always provided a platform when he talks about love and what love is, and we were able to kick that off last week. And this truly it's one of those platforms where you can have other people pour into you, but show what love truly is. And so the fact that she loved the show, but was willing to share, where those moments she's had in her life was something that was extremely, I felt it was touching in a lot of ways, because I felt the growth and the progression of the show, and that's really what we want. So we have Miss Samantha Alvarez in the house, I would say in the studio today. And I am so excited to have her. Samantha, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Awesome. And so Samantha, the fact is that I've known you since day. I knew you before you were you in a lot of ways. But her in the same year and a little bit, just like one, how old are you? And we'll kind of keep going from there.
Okay. I'm 23 years old. I live here in Lincoln with my parents right now, and I'm going to UNO, but I'm taking a break right now to figure things out. I am working 2 jobs, and hopefully I'll be able to go back to college so I can get my bachelor's degree and work as a librarian at one of the public libraries.
Wow, awesome in so many ways. So every time we bring individuals in here, they're staying busy. So you're holding down a couple of jobs and looking at school and different things. Tell us who's in your family. So who makes up the Alvarez group?
My mom, my dad, and my little brother, who's got to be graduating soon from high school and going to college.
Okay, awesome. So you want to give us their names so they can, as they're listening, so they don't feel left out.
My mom's name is Lisa, and my dad's name is Michael. I also known as Mike.
Okay.
And my brother is Ian Alvarez.
Okay, awesome. And you said Aiden's graduating this year from high school.
Yep, he went to the same school as me, Southeast. Also the same school my mom went to.
Okay. So got a little lineage. So where did your dad go to school?
Lincoln. Even though it kind of cringed him that we didn't go to the same school as him.
So you got the legacy. You got 3 against 1. So he's going to be a little frustrated when the graduation party happens with all the gold and black, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So any pets or anything?
No. Although we did used to have a goldfish, but they kept dying, and I decided fish is not really a great pet for me.
Now, was it your responsibility, the goldfish, or was it your dad's, brothers, or mom's?
It's kind of my job. I mean, my first pet we lived in Germany, but I mean, my parents thought we got a goldfish. Of course, there was kind of a language barrier going on because instead of a goldfish, they gave.
Oh, awesome. Yes, we have in studio, but I do want to follow up because you've had some experience where you weren't always, raised here. And so I want to learn a little bit more about that. But also in studio, we have Michael Alvarez. He's got multiple names, I guess, in the household, but he has been on air with us before on the ticket. And Michael is a longtime friend, but also is the father of Samantha. And so he's here to support, but also give some insight as we kind of have that conversation. So Mike, how you doing today?
Doing good, buddy.
Awesome. Glad to have you. And
I'm glad to be here.
You recently had a trip and you've been gone for a week, and that's explain the Washington hat.
Yeah, Washington Nationals went to the game last week. I was in DC last week for work, and last night I was there. I was like, you know what, Ohtani's in town for the Dodgers, and I was like, you know what, let's head to that game. So I'm almost hit 2 dingers, hit the wall.
Okay.
It was worth it. I guess he's worth $1 billion. I guess. So,
I guess that was a question we had to ask here on the sports. Is he worth $1 billion?
Yeah, I think he went. What did he go? I think he went 3 for 6.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess I don't know. I like to have $1 billion, but I'm worth $1 billion. But yeah, no, I think he's Ohtani's Ohtani, and took a couple pictures, and Aiden was pretty jealous that I got to go and he didn't. So
good stuff. So tell us a little bit about. She told you you're from Lincoln High, you're a longtime Lincoln resident. But like, what's your role? What is your job? What have you done in the past?
I did 22 years of military service, and I still work for the military to this day out at the 155th here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And then I do that, and I take care of this young lady over here, and she has always made life enjoyable and very. She's made life pretty enjoyable. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Well, glad to have you on, and definitely want to talk about that relationship and the joys that you've experienced and some of the challenges that you all have had. And then also just how to pour into others to make them kind of move that needle towards inclusion and acceptance in regards to not only just being a good human, but also with autism. And then joined as, I say again, but I am very excited and grateful to be joined by a longtime friend. I'll have to be honest, a mentor, and just somebody that's just got spirit. When you talk about love, is just that's what he is about. And Mr. Jarrell Roach, I could say AKA Mr. Hilarious Hope, entrepreneur of Hope Hood. But Jarrell is an individual that as you go through this interview, you're just going to hear about what he brings to people. And so Jarrell, really excited to have you here. I know you also have made a journey to get here as well, but tell us a little bit about who you are.
Yeah, man, I am Pete Ferguson's one of his best friends, and I'm pretty delighted about that. That's it. That's all I got.
There you go. The check's written.
And,
the check's written.
and I'm a Lincoln native and Southeast graduate as well.
Okay.
Back 2000, man. And so and it's good to be here. I come in via Bellevue right now, so I do most of my work up that way. But man, it's just Pete, it's just such a pleasure to be here, man.
No, really excited. And so, Samantha shared a little bit about her family, and obviously Mike's a part of that. Tell us a little bit about, as you always say, who's in your hood.
Yeah, man, my hood, man. I got 4 wonderful children. I got, it goes boy, girl, boy, girl. So Johnny's 21, getting ready to graduate from UNO, which we're super excited about. And then Karia is 14, Jeremiah 13, and then Carly is 8 years old. And kind of what brought me into this conversation as well is that my 2 middle kids that we call twins, man, they're less than a year apart. And Irish twins.
I got Harris is looking, he's like, he just turned 25. He's like, twin, I gotta go.
Yeah. Yeah, man. They are on the autism spectrum. And so that's what brings me here to discuss that, man. And I would say at large, my family is really that additional hood is really spending time with special needs dads and really growing that community out. So belong to a community called the Special Fathers Network. And it's pretty cool, man. It's a international network of fathers that just support one another so that we can better serve and support our kids, man.
Awesome. And along with that, you also represent our country as well.
Yeah. I work with Mike out at the 155th. Started off in the civil engineering squadron, and now I work in the chapel. Coming up on my 23rd year and getting ready to wrap it up, man.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, but thanks both of you for your service and all that you do and the investment. I hate saying the sacrifice because it's an investment. I know y'all don't see it as a sacrifice for not only this country but also for your family. So we greatly appreciate that. So as we introduced autism before we go to break, I think it's important just to define it. And I'd like, we can go to the clinical definition, et cetera, but Samantha, I would like for you to start just if somebody was going to ask you, like, what is autism? What's the definition that you would provide?
I kind of thought of that a lot. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to define it because there's a lot of people with different opinions, but I did look online and try to figure what defines to me, but I guess it's kind of more like something like maybe try and find when people with autism, they try to find safety and security and predictability and routine and repetition, like I do. Sometimes we do struggle in group settings. Trust me, I had a lot of experience with that.
Right.
We also do get exorbitant in interest. Just like me, I like to do art, books, and anime and stuff.
Wow.
And I think we also sometimes we do have this small talk and prefer sustainative conversation. I kind of agree with that. And I think we also kind of we have a hard time expressing ourselves too. like maybe emotional wise, and maybe trying to get the point to someone.
Mm.
And and also it's just a learn. It's not a disease. It's because I'm tired of having people saying we need to be cured, and or like something caused by like pesticide and stuff. I mean, it's genetic.
Right.
Eh.
I loved everything that you said. I mean, that was a comprehensive, and even that last point where you said trying to be, tired of people saying, you need to be cured. How do you invest in the individual that you are and what you bring to the table? So really thank you for that, because that was comprehensive. We're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back from break, I want to continue that conversation. Jarrell, I want your definition of, what, autism is. And then also for Mike, just, what that, is that definition mirrors what's it been like for you as a parent. So we'll be back on 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln. Always honest answers.
High schoolers, unleash your creativity and learn about potential careers in broadcasting at the Digital Expressions Media Camp. Have fun, make friends, and get hands-on experience with video and radio production June 9th through the 14th at the University of Nebraska at Kearney. Scholarships are available from the Nebraska Broadcasters Association, and spots are limited. Learn more at digitalexpressionscamp.com. That's digitalexpressionscamp.com.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
Mike Minner, what's up, bro?
When you look at Dylan, you're looking at quarterbacks that kind of come around once every 20 years. And this is a kid I'm looking at, I don't know how old he is, 17, 18 years old. And he is already directing things that 17, 18-year-old kids should not even know. Changing the line protection. Okay, guys, I don't know what we've been 2 weeks of practice. Come on, man. Well, we got guys in the National Football League that can't do that.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
If you came across someone struggling with hunger, how would you recognize them?
By their clothes,
their age,
the way they speak. Hunger can be hard to recognize. Learn why at IamHungerInAmerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America, 200 Food Bank Strong, and the Ad Council.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and the station.
Old School with DP and J.
Nebraska and their staff, football-wise, has done a really good job of, keeping guys, happy. And then obviously they see the opportunity here. Whereas I don't think there's a general reason that you can say, okay, this is why kids are going in the portal. Now we're seeing, even when they're in really good situations for them, they still leave.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Although we can't control the air we breathe outside our home, we can make a healthy difference inside. And all it takes is a call to Bryant. With healthy air options, Bryant can help you eliminate allergens, odors, and harmful chemicals, all while controlling indoor humidity levels at the same time. If it's time for a breath of fresh air inside, it's time to call Bryant. Breathe easy, breathe healthy. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. We do whatever it takes.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson, and as always, joined on the ones and twos with Harrison, and I greatly appreciate him. I know they had a long day with everything yesterday. Keep wanting to go ahead and put this out there. Our thoughts and well wishes for those impacted by the inclement and the severe weather that we had in our area, but also other places. So to help people affected by disasters, whether big or small, don't hesitate to text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross. Nebraska Strong, we stand with Nebraska and our neighbors in Iowa and also the other states that are being impacted that we realized this morning. But have a full house today and excited. A show that was prompted, I don't want to take credit for it, that was prompted by Samantha Alvarez. And Samantha has been a listener, but also gave before the break a tremendous definition, is an individual. And so how do you ask people, like, they can say impacted by autism, is an individual with autism, like what is the correct way that you prefer to be recognized?
For that, I think it's something like maybe for parents and other people, like maybe like the family members or like friends, like something like what my parents do, like and also something called autism acceptance, which is talks about like patience, understandable, and love and support, and not like just being frustrated or just thinking that you're just doing something wrong. I mean, it's like the same thing with my parents. I mean, they kind of just learn to listen instead of like trying not. Listen instead of like being maybe just trying to figure out what was going on. Mm-hmm. And they did give me a love and support like throughout the years, like even in my school times, and also like times when I just feel like I just don't belong, or like or in my darkest times, because I had like a lot of situations when that happened.
Okay. And definitely want to talk about some of those times when inclusion and belonging was at a high for you, but what does that look like sometimes when it's not? But Darrell, before we went to break, Samantha gave a real comprehensive definition of autism. I'm just curious, like when people ask you, to define like, what is autism? How do you go ahead and explain that to them?
Yeah, I would say, and that's a really good question. In most terminologies, you're going to see something like a neurological disability.
Right.
It's just autism oftentimes is referred to a disability that impacts the brain in normal functionality. And it's a spectrum because it can be several things. Now, as a dad, like one of my favorite hip hop artists, who's also a special needs dad, said, you know, what if it wasn't a problem, but it was just another way for us to live in the expression of life, you know? And so I've learned to look at it like that, because having 2 kids back to back that are autistic has taught me more probably about than just, I mean, has definitely extended my patience, my point of view, my acceptance, the grace for life, more than it probably would have in just what is considered a normal functioning relationship. So to me, it's explorative, it's adventurous, but it takes a lot of patience.
Okay.
But when does it not take a lot of patience to raise kids? If my mom was in here right now, she'd be like, bruh, what you talking about? You know, your kid's way better than you were. Yeah.
without question.
Yeah.
I always got to get that the realism on it.
Yeah.
So my kind of the same question to you, you know, as a parent, and I'm just, you know, that definition, you know, what was that definition that was given to you when you first were told or realized that, you know, this was something you and your family were going to have to invest in?
You know, with Sam, what's so funny is, you know, I was in the, you know, at that time we were active duty.
Okay.
And, you know, every time you see a doctor, you know, you know, during the whole, when she was born, you know, Lisa, who has a development. You know,
and where were you at?
I was in Gramstein, Germany.
Okay.
So actually, no. Yeah. We're at F.E. Warren Air Force Base.
Okay.
And so, you know, when you go to doctors in the military, you know, you don't see, you know, you'll see one doctor. We'll see Dr. Pete Ferguson this day. And then next day we'll see Dr. Harrison the next time we go. And so each time you'd go, you'd be like, hey, something's up. And oh, no, you're just first time parents. Oh, something's up, first time parents. And we just got, you know, we're like, that's all we got. And so, you know, we knew, because Sam wasn't hitting milestones or anything like that. And so we were like, okay. And so then we moved to Offutt, and then, you know, we see Offutt doctors and they're like, oh, you're first time parents and all that stuff, you know? And so like, you know, if, you know, now let's fast forward to, we move back, we go to Germany, we move back from Germany, and she's going to school. We watch a 2020 video. Remember that? You remember that show 2020?
Yeah.
We were watching 2020.
Hang on, you got to ask Harrison. Do you remember the show 2020?
Yeah, Harrison, you're low.
I was thinking of the movie
You're
2020.
probably so that's what John Cusack. Anyways, but so we watched this show at 2020, and it was about girls with girls with autism. Girls with autism and boys with autism, totally different thing, totally different set of rules. And so we're watching that, and I look at Lisa at the end of that, and Lisa looks at me, and I'm like, that was Samantha. And so that next day, that was on a Thursday. That next day, we got in with the doctor. I said, hey, we would like to have her, you know, tested. Went to school. Hey, we would like to have her tested. And, you know, after all the paperwork got all done and everything, they're like, yep, she has autism. You know, when that happened, you know, I was actually relieved, because, you know, we knew, you know, that she wasn't hitting milestones. So we knew something was up. But, you know, finally getting a diagnosis was a relief.
Getting an answer.
Getting an answer. Exactly right. That was a relief. You know, and then now it's like, okay, we got now we know what's good, what it is. Now, what do we do from now? Now, what do we do? And so my wife, I took part of it, but my wife ran with that. She was like, okay, we need to, Samantha's now at that age. I think she was 6 years old. We have missed 6 years now. We got to get her. We need to start working now to get her caught up to what we need to get her caught up to. And so my wife, Lisa, just took off with that, and she did all this research, and, you know, then she would give me the cliff notes, because, you know, my attention span, my ADHD, you know, is, and so, you know, but like I said, so, you know, once we got the diagnosis, that was more of relief for me. Yeah, it was scary, but it was a relief that, okay, now we know what we got. Now let's help Sam flourish with her life.
Come on.
And so exactly right. We let her, you know, so that was the key thing for us.
Right. So Samantha, and Sam, I'm kind of curious, when did you first kind of become aware that you had, and I like to say, some special abilities? You know, when did you become aware that you had some special abilities that may not be the same as some of the other kids scholars that you were around?
Is someone's phone ringing? Oh, sorry. Well, I guess I didn't realize this until I was So maybe like when I was in 4th grade, so around like 10 years old. But I think my parents did tell me in the beginning that I was autistic, but I don't think I really got it. And I started telling other kids I was autistic, but I don't think they understood where I said because I had communication disorder. Um, but I guess I kind of deep down kind of knows there was something different about me because some of the kids just didn't want to be friends with me or didn't know, or more like they didn't know how to be friends with me because I was a super happy kid.
Okay.
People were overly friendly, and apparently kids at that age didn't know how to be friends. But 4th grade, during that 4th grade, I kind of had to do a medicine change because I got depression, and I guess that'll be a lot of shock to you because how could a 10-year-old kid get depression?
Wow.
But it turns out it was the medicine I was taking. They gave me a better dosage, and I started to get better. But I guess all the feelings I had inside kind of started leaking out because I started noticing I was different, and I guess I wasn't just like the other kids.
Awesome.
Oh wait, I think that might be me.
That's all right. We were doing it. We were doing a search, and somebody somebody left the phone. And somebody left the phone in the studio from the spring game. So no,
I was gonna say though, with Sam, and she was on.
Sorry.
No, not a problem.
Yeah. So Sam was on. Yeah, she. At the beginning there was some medication, but the one thing that me and Lisa always said was like, okay, if the medication is gonna help her, fine, but we don't want that to be a long-term solution. That was the key thing, especially at that young age. We're like, and we were very hesitant on that, and so we were like, okay, if it helps her, fine, but at a certain point, we don't want her on that all the time. We gotta, and so that was the one key thing. And our doctors are like, yeah, we agree. We'll get her through a hump here, and then we'll slowly take it off and see how it goes. And so that was one thing that we really were very hesitant, that we were hesitant on the medication, but we were also very like, okay, but we don't want her on it. We don't want her, and we don't want that to be the long-term solution.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah. So
and Jarrell, we talked a little bit during the break about just kind of when did it kind of come to your attention? There was some special abilities that your scholars, that your kids had that not everybody else had, and how did you go about handling it?
Yeah, man, that's a really good question. There are some things we did well, and there are some things that I personally regret. But because I worked with individuals that had special abilities beforehand, it was easier to see some of the things that made me question just a tad bit. And so as we started having those conversations, we really did avoid the denial aspect, and because we could see it. And we had 2 kids back to back. We had a very colicky son, and but we just started seeing rhythms and just strong things, strong indicators that would go, man, a normal kid, like a normal functioning kid, wouldn't care so much about that, I think, and I don't want to say to disgrace anything. It was just our reality. And so we started having the conversation with professionals to get our kids checked. And then I would say one of the things I regret, though, along the way is not communicating that earlier with our kids. Our son is nonverbal, even though he is very vocal. And our daughter is a very vocal, verbal teenager. And so very emotional. And I think they both are. And so we started telling our kids later in life that they actually had autism. And so there was a lot of things we avoided because they were surrounded by so much love. We wanted them to feel as normal as possible. But like she was describing, there are things that just stood out to them and their, like the expression, the adventure, like they're so much more open to expression, loving people and physical touch and being in people's faces. And I'm like, man, I wish I had that. I've learned so much from my children by seeing that. And I'm like, why am I so reluctant to do that? And I would say one of the biggest things I personally regret is just not telling them earlier, hey, you're autistic, and not giving them that answer. For Jeremiah, I don't think it would have really computed just because where he's at in life, but for our daughter earlier, just helping her understand that too. And we just didn't want her to feel so different because we seen the looks I work with kids. And so I see the way kids looked. I seen the way kids would giggle at her, laugh at her. And if she wet herself or if she was drooling some, and there were some sensory things that she just didn't always I mean, you gotta pull stuff up. You gotta keep, and she wouldn't even notice it. She's just standing in front of you, loving you, but kids are clowning her. And that kind of stuff, I was just kind of like, I didn't want that to stand in front of the conversation or in front of her expression of life before it became a conversation between us. So it was just more about helping them to learn how to take care of themselves so that they can continue to function with their peers to the best of their ability.
I was going to say, I was going to pay back because like with Sam, the spectrum is so broad.
Yeah,
and I get that, but with Sam, I was always like, she's on the higher end. She's on the high end of the spectrum. And so I was like, with Sam, I was always like, Sam, yes, you have autism, but I don't want you to use that as a crutch where you can't, where you're like, I can't do anything because I'm autistic. And no, and I would always, I'd always give that. I'd be like, you can't, just be you. Don't let that be the crutch.
Yeah.
And then, but then that bit me.
Yeah.
Because then we get to high school and college, and I'm like, but you got to learn to ask for help. And she would never ask for help because she thought that was her asking because of the autism. Because then she'd be like, I can't ask for help because that shows that I can't do. That's my crutch. It's autism. I was like, no, Sam. Growing is asking for that help, and so that was a big stretch that I had to do. But like I said, my main thing was just like you was just don't use it as a crutch.
So Sam, I'm interested in that because what are some of the things that you were like, there's no barriers here. I'm just going to go ahead and crush this and make the world mine. Like, what are some of those things that you pursued that maybe you realized, okay, I might need a little bit of help with this?
I think. Sorry. I guess what kind of Dad said was right, and I guess I kind of did feel like I didn't need to ask for help because I was trying to be independent. I was trying to be like when I guess it was something like when I read back in high school, I was doing a speech report on autism.
Okay.
And I kind of learned that a lot of kids, they always say a lot of adults with autism would stay with home with their parents, have to be cared. And I guess I just want to battle that because I don't want people to think because I'm autistic, I'm going to stay with my parents forever.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know my parents are not always going to be there for me. I mean, even I know that too. I have to learn how to do things on my own. It's just kind of hard because I'm still trying to learn how to express myself and having that and trying not to have I need to call them in the middle, maybe in the middle of the night to tell me how to disarm.
Oh, you're good.
How to disarm a fire alarm.
Yeah.
Or they need to come 100 miles out just to show me how to do a mortgage.
Yeah.
Mortgage or anything.
We all need that.
Yeah.
I mean, we all want to call individuals on that.
Yeah.
So you're definitely good with that.
Yeah. And I was just saying, and to this point, like what she's expressing and learning, what Mike is expressing and learning, like we all have to experience it. Yep. And so then how do we become more aware of the different or additional needs?
Yes.
That are there, or the special needs, not to put like a what do you call it, like the profile or anything, but an additional or special need. You know what I'm saying? Because there's the uniqueness, there's the commonalities of us, and then there's the uniqueness about us, and then sometimes there's some additional uniqueness about us that we really need.
Well, and I think what you are saying, and for those who may be just tuning in, I just want to make sure, we've got Samantha Alvarez, Mike Alvarez, and Jarrell Roach, and also Harris and I am really appreciative. Harris and I are both really appreciative of them sharing their journey with autism, just the inclusiveness, the belonging, but also some of the challenges. And so prior to us going to another break, I want to get from each of you, Samantha, I want to start with you. What's a piece of advice that you would have to individuals either that are impacted in some way, whether they have it or whether they are around individuals, might be a parent or whatever else, dealing with autism? What's a premier piece of advice that you would give to them?
That's I think that's a really good question because I never been asked to give advice before, but
You're premier right now. They're paying you. You're up in front of everybody, but it's something that I think we need to hear. And I mean, I think you've given some great definitions. So, what is that piece of advice that you would give to somebody?
I guess honestly, this is kind of a trick question because I really never got to have someone give me a huge impact before, because there was not a lot of girls out there or girls that were described like having autism. I literally have to look up a person, and it has to be it was a boy or such. But I guess maybe my advice would be maybe trying not to be. Sorry.
No, you know what? What we'll do is, when we do come back from break, because I love what you just said.
Yep.
Like nobody's asking. You said I've had to look up people, and most of the time it's been boys.
Yep.
And so what I want is when somebody looks up somebody, it's going to be you, and they're going to be able to see themselves. And we always talk about how representation matters. And so the point that you just made was so valuable. That there's an absence in that representation, even as widespread as this is. And so when we do come back from break, I want to make sure that the next person that's a Samantha looks up and they see you and they can't say the same thing that they couldn't find themselves. And so we'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson.
You can get diesel anywhere, but what about Atomic Diesel? That comes from Stern. Atomic Diesel is your solution to all your cold weather problems. Prevent clogged fuel filters, increase your fuel economy, and save money with Atomic Diesel. Contact Roger at Stern today by calling 1-800-477-2744 to see how Atomic Diesel and the rest of their line of fuels and lubricants can keep your operation running at max capacity. There's more time to save big at Bonzal Pool & Spa with their extended Double the Savings sales event. Now through April 30th, buyers can take advantage of up to $1,500 in savings when they purchase a new hot spring spa. Visit the Bonzal Pool & Spa showroom at 33rd and Pioneers or visit their website at www.bonzalpool.com to learn more about this hot sale. Act now because this offer ends April 30th. Bonzal Pool & Spa, every day made better.
Formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations. Guess what?
What?
There's 5 Lincoln locations now. Oh my gosh. That's 25% more Lincoln locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11th, located right alongside 93.7 The Ticket Studios, 1040 O Street.
Old School with DP and J.
Nebraska and their staff, football-wise, has done a really good job of, keeping guys, happy. And then obviously they see the opportunity here. Whereas I don't think there's a general reason that you can say, okay, this is why kids are going in the portal. Now we're seeing, even when they're in really good situations for them, they still leave.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Spring in Nebraska brings green grass and warmer weather, but it also brings severe storms which can cause damage to your home. Meadowlark Exterior specializes in hail, storm, and wind damage restoration, as well as roofing, siding, and gutters for commercial or residential buildings. Meadowlark Exteriors focuses on fine craftsmanship and proves that in their attention to detail. They offer free roof inspections and estimates and insurance claim assistance, serving the Lincoln and Omaha surrounding areas. Call today at 402-875-2956 or go to meadowlarkexteriors.com. The Red White Spring Game is coming soon. Do you know your tailgate meal for before and after the game? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate something for all Nebraskans, made in Nebraska. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you tailgate without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No spring game party or tailgate is complete without it.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Back to Bigger Than the Score with Peter Ferguson on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back to 93.7 The Ticket, Bigger Than the Score. This is Peter Ferguson, and as always, appreciative that I'm joined on the ones and twos with Harrison. I definitely have had a full morning, but also been poured into in so many ways. Fantastic to have Samantha Alvarez here, Michael Alvarez, her father, and Jarrell Roach.
Call me Jarrell Alvarez.
Oh, there you go, Jarrell Alvarez. They're working on the adoption process. But Samantha, they have all filled us in just in regards to autism, and talking about how we can strive for a world where individuals with autism and their families are met with support and understanding, not that mockery or insults. And they've talked about some of those blessings that they've had, but also some of those challenges. And we left before the break asking Samantha, what is a piece of advice that she would give to either those being impacted, those who have autism, or those that are surrounding that are impacted it. So when they turn that page, they get to see, hey, there's some representation of somebody that looks like me. And so what is that piece of advice, Samantha, that you would give?
I think my advice would be maybe, I think maybe try and don't let people get you down or make you feel like you couldn't do anything. And if you do, just try and remember all the people who who loves and supported you all those years. I mean, I don't think I would have gotten this far without my parents and my family's support, and a lot of people who likes who I am and understands I'm learning what I'm going through and what I think and feel.
Good. Yep.
And try and ignore all those stereotypes telling you that or make you confused that if you're not being autistic or you're just overreacting. Because trust me, I did one time thought I wasn't autistic because I wasn't acting like this. But after researching more, I understand there people with autism, especially girls, act differently, have different things they like to do.
I love what you said. And during the break, you talked about some of those misconceptions. You talked about Rayman and that profile. Talk a little bit about that. Like you said, like everybody thinks it looks like this and they do this.
Yeah. A lot of people believe, like, when I was researching this for my speech back in high school, I learned that a lot of people thought that people with autism are like low functioning. They can't talk. They can't understand emotions. Except we kind of do. We just don't know how to express them. And there is a lot of emotions some emotions we don't understand, like definitions of love, definitions of anger, or why are you hurting this person for over a small thing?
Right.
Yeah, and then one of the
good.
most stereotypes they would represent is Rayman, which I mean, the guy is autistic, but not everyone's like him. I mean, he's a different type of has different qualities than other than autism. And now it's also now is Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
which that is still a very questionable thing.
Come on. Yeah.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
But now, when I was growing up, now I'm seeing that autism is finally like getting up to the point where it's getting really it's concerned and needs to be learned and taught.
Mhm.
And I even seen books, which I wish they had this when I was a kid, but they were both books on, especially on with girls with autism, like even to become a heroines or like having their own stories or like when even those struggles that we can understand what we go through because we're going through that.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
And
Jarrell, you have some scholars that are in school right now.
Yeah, man.
And I want to
Yeah.
kind of go down the line. Like, what is some advice that you would give to parents or just honestly, let's go with educators. What is some advice that you would give to educators?
Yeah, man. Ooh, yo, that's a spectrum of an answer in a sense, man. I think one of the greatest compliments I got one time was from a young man that was, he had a disability, and he said, "Man, you know what? Sometimes," he said, "you act like I don't even got this disability, man. I can't do that." And he said, I was like, "Oh, my bad." He's like, "No, I just think that's so cool, man. You just treat me." So I think like it's realizing, it kind of goes back to the Rain Man thing. People are like, "Oh, your kids are so they're a genius, right?" And I'm like, "Well, I surely hope, but I got teenagers, man. I'm still trying to get them to take a shower under the water." You know what I'm saying? They're gassy, they're crabby sometimes. I'm like, so I think it comes back down to the thing that matters the most is keep the first thing the first thing. They're human at the end of the day. They got a soul. They got a mama and daddy that care about them. They're bigger than the IEP. They're bigger than what reflects well in your classroom. And much grace for those that are educators and work with students that have additional needs. Much, much, much grace, because I'm there. And but it's just keeping it about the humanistic part of their development and growth, and realizing there are certain things that won't come about during their tenure with you, but you're investing and you're sowing seeds into these precious youngins. And believe it or not, they're investing into you too, because that experience is helping us to grow beyond what may feel normal into something that really challenges us and impresses us. And so, man, I think that's the first thing, is just keeping it humanistic, man.
Wow.
They're not just they're not just autism. I always tell people say, "Jarrell, like, hey, why'd you just do that with your kid, man?" I said, "Oh, that's called discipline. And beyond all that, they're teenagers and they need it. They know how to push daddy's buttons. You know what I'm saying?" So and so that's what it is. That's the humanistic thing about it. So we're not going to cut them short, right? We're going to cut them slack where needed. We're not going to cut them short though. And at the end of the day, they need to have the investment in their world like anyone else.
Love that.
You know what's funny is that with Sam, when she was in school, it was there were certain teachers that wouldn't challenge her, and they're like, "Well, if we raise the bar here, she won't hit it."
That's
I
real.
don't care.
That's real.
The bar is here. Let her achieve to get at least the
possibility,
to a small part of that. Don't lower the bar. Anybody, but raise that bar. And Sam would always rise to the challenge and get right there.
Yep.
And that was the key, is that challenge them.
Yep.
Don't just lower the bar and let them, "Oh yeah, no."
Yep.
Raise the bar and you'll be surprised of what can happen.
Yep.
And that's with any kid though.
Wow.
Not just Sam or it's any kid, but like I said, anyways.
Well, no, and I love the fact, because the thing is oftentimes, Sam, you are the challenge. Like you not raise the bar so you meet the challenge. Like she may be the bar. For other individuals. And so, I know as we kind of move forward, want you each to just finish this prompt. Love is. So love is, and finish that in, however you may. And so, Sam, we'll start with you.
What love is for me, I think, I always believed when I was a kid, this being friendly, love from your parents and friends, and just giving someone a hug to make them feel good. because I always loved giving hugs when I was a kid, and still now. And I give my parents a hug, especially my mom, when she gets stressed out from work.
Awesome. Stressed out from work or Mike?
Mostly my mom.
Okay.
I do occasionally give hugs to Dad.
Okay.
Exactly.
Let's see. Just trying to be being nice to everyone, because I feel like this world really needs it right now. We needs it now and ever. And I still believe, and I think it's something that I think it can be like nice and calming.
Awesome.
I think that's
Fantastic.
what love is to me.
Yeah. Love that. Finish the prompt, Mike. Love is
pain. No, I'm just kidding. Love is
smoking like a parent.
Yeah, exactly. Love is patience. Love is patience.
Love that. Dr. Roach.
Yeah. Yeah. Love is laying it down. Greater love has no one seen than this, than a man that or than someone that would lay down their life for a friend. It is the greatest cost and it is the greatest reward. Love is unlimited.
Man, you went deep, existential on me, man.
Wow.
Good job, buddy.
Definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, as we get ready to close, I definitely want to thank all of you for being in the studio. Jarrell, just your friendship, your mentorship, your investment is something really valued. Mike, lifelong friend, again, the same. And then Samantha, a special thanks to you just for bringing this to forward and having us put this on this platform. Definitely deserved. So as we close, again, we must strive for a world where individuals with autism and their families are met with support and understanding, not mockery and insult. We'll see you next time on 93.7 The Ticket, bigger than the score.
Windex.